All right, hello everyone. This is just going to be a short video about how to take care of the 15 toxic abomination raider task. This is a requested video. There's probably not going to be a lot of special things in here that you don't already know if you've been playing for a while. But basically, the toxic abominations are found in the red zone. This red zone, this one, and they're I believe in both of these, but most people aren't going to be going up there. You can also find them in the oak event, which is usually right around here, but they do not get counted for what you do in the bunker or in raids. So if you're doing a revenge raid, those aren't going to count. Now, there's in general, most people come either to this place or this one. The big one is more likely to spawn in here as far as I can tell and from what I've been told. So if your only goal is to kill the abominations, you're best off generally coming over here. And if it's just something you don't care about resources, the best way to do it is to come over here, kill all the abominations you see, and then come over to this zone and then come back to keep resetting it. So you want to bring enough supplies just to do that 3 or 4 times. You're probably going to get stinky, but that doesn't matter as much anymore since they kind of nerfed how that worked. So you need to bring enough food and whatnot to do all that. I just happen to do a chopper event, so I'm up here. So I'm going to kind of do my best over here to hopefully avoid the big one. But if the big one comes, you know, it's all over. You got to leave and then leave the zone and come back to reset it. And I'll pause it. I love being able to pause out these loading screens. Okay. So what I typically bring with me, and I'll probably get attacked while I'm showing you, just showing you outside. I just did a chopper event, so I got a bunch of junk. But this lower section here of weapons, and some of this armor here, I like to bring out a change out. I love using up my broken down armor on these and my weapons. I don't usually bring full weapons to these. And there's a little more guns than I would typically bring for sure, but just the bottom row of guns, that. And then some food and some up here and some first aid kits or bandages. I happen to have a lot of these right now. Usually I use bandages. And I'm getting hit again. Okay, so I'll just switch to something a little more reasonable. I don't usually use AKs for anything. I just happen to be back from that event. And so basically, the way you should treat these, in my opinion, is always just treat them like you're doing the chest. There's one right there. So this guy spawned. Sometimes they spawn and sometimes they're sitting there. If they're sitting there, you can sneak up on them and do the critical damage. But if they spawn, then you just got to take them out. But spawns are good. You can usually get anywhere from 2 to 10 abominations, I would say, in a red zone. So you never know if it's going to be a good one or a crappy one. What I do, like I said, is I treat them like I'm just doing the chest, because the chests are always valuable. So if you're here, you might as well get them. Always just do this little stagger step. This is the best way to kill these guys. And let me put some pants on. Heal up a bit. I love grabbing these to make bandages out of, and I usually will grab the meat. And I don't ever get the rope unless I'm run low, and you know, the spike trap things just eat up your rope, so I just kind of wait until I've done one of those. But otherwise, the main thing I look for in zombie drops is flash drives, cell phones, and that's mostly it. I don't usually pick up watches or any flashlights anymore. All right, and there's a method here with these spitters that some people might not know, but when they get close to you, so they're running at you. Let's say that I'm the tree right there. If they're running at me, they stop. When they get to a certain point, they can no longer veer towards where you are. So you know they're going to spit if you're zigzagging when they get close and they keep running straight. So hopefully that'll happen and I can show you. So like I said, I'm really not worried about the abominations. I'm just going for the chests. And, you know, I could take this and that. I often take water whenever I see it, just because doing this, you get thirsty eventually. And so that guy didn't veer. I started moving to the left, and he just kept running straight at me, so I knew he wasn't going to spit. Yeah, and you want to check the chests anyways, because you never know if you're going to get C4 or a weapon. You know, finding shotguns and rifles and these things is always a big perk. And there's always a chance of a puppy too, but that's extremely rare. Which reminds me, I was going to change my gender. So the zombies, the abominations can be anywhere. I would say they tend to be. See, that guy was tracking me. If he had stopped and went in a straight line towards me, you know he's going to spit. And with this weapon, usually it's best to, like, after his first swing, just zigzag to the left or right. And if he does spit, then you can avoid it. See, yeah, that guy, if you noticed, I couldn't really avoid him well because of that other guy, but that's how that works. I tried hitting. So if you just do that kind of weave move, bob and weave move right there, you'll usually avoid the spit. But like I said, the spit isn't so bad anymore. And I usually grab tape. So I'm still looking for abominations. So let me kind of get back on that. So obviously the abominations are the bigger dots. I aggroed him. The trick is you need to be careful. Let's use this one up. If you go slow enough, you can crouch before you aggro them. Once they get into that inner ring, it's too late. So if you're kind of running around pretty quickly, you're not going to... So there's one right there on the outer ring, but it looks like a small one, so that's not him. But it's always good to get those critical strikes in on him. Alright, well, whatever. So, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. I noticed in this new update that they added a mini map icon for these trees. I don't know if they're going to someday make them different. I don't know if they're going to make them drop something different. Right now, it's just normal pine wood. I mean, these are, I guess, supposed to be dead trees. They look a little darker than a normal tree. But I assume those are just meant to be dead pine wood. And so yeah, I'll get some boots on, get a new weapon. And I don't think there's much more to really talk about with this. Here's another one. I have the quest right now. You don't want somebody else to kill the abomination for you. There, I got him. Because you won't get credit. Or at least that's my understanding. I'll take a plant. You don't get those too often. I don't care about the rest. And I put my hat on. And so yeah, I mean, I would just clear this board. It seems to me that once you clear the board, you don't get too many random spawns anymore. Yeah, I did that all wrong. So you shouldn't see any more abominations just randomly spawning once that happens. So this guy up here could be an abomination. So if I run over here on the side, I'm pretty sure it's a bloater. Yeah, then you could do the critical. But it's pretty hard to avoid aggroing the abominations, and a lot of them just get spawned in, so there's not much you can do about that. And anybody else? I mean, if you just do kind of a big wide perimeter sweep, you'll get a lot of them. But those chests are always valuable. I mean, you don't want to pass them up. Any opportunity to get chests is a great thing in a red zone. Plus, you could find a car engine. I mean, it's best just to treat these as... Oh, that's a bad way of doing that. It's best just to treat these as chest quests. And also, when you're doing it, it's best to avoid... This is something I didn't mention. I'm just kind of like walking around looking for chests mostly. But if your sole goal is to get abominations, and you should get the chest too, always try to avoid everything else that's not something necessary to kill. Like, I didn't need to kill those guys right there. I could have just snuck up and took a peek. One other little trick that most people know, but if you switch to a rifle, especially with the extended range rifle, when you're far away from something, like right here, I would probably be able to see what this thing is. So if you want a good peek about the zombies that are around you, you'll get to see their name tag up on your screen if you switch to a weapon that has a long range on it. And yeah, so I'm probably just about have enough abominations right now for my next raid. But if I didn't, the next thing I would do is I would exit out of here, run to the next zone, and come back. I mean, sometimes the big one just keeps spawning on you over and over again, and there's just... It just happens sometimes. It doesn't happen that often that it's the end of the world, but it does happen. And I'm kind of wondering if this thing is going to give a new gift today. I mean, I don't know why else they would have a timer for that long on it. That's the normal way it operates. It'll be fun coming back here to kill her the second time. I don't know for sure if the witch's head is going to disappear in 3 days. I think you just, as long as you keep it burning, it stays there. So is there a point in going back there and continuing to kill her every 3 days? I don't think there is, but I'll find out, pretty soon. Okay, and we're back. So after you get the witch's head, that wave that's coming at you from the infected forest is still going to come at you, but after that it shouldn't come. So you're still going to get hit the one time. And I was raided, so here comes the big question: is my trap still here? It doesn't help that I got the zombie wave too. So they obviously hit me on the top quite a bit. And there's my trap. So if this was the raiders that made it to here, they should have aggroed these guys, I'm pretty sure. So I'm still holding out hope that this thing is safe. But it looks like both the horde and the raiders hit me up there, so I'm not sure who did what. Okay, and here's my head over here. So let's just, while I'm still here, I might as well check a few other things, and I can go do this raid. I have already heard that the suicide trick still works from someone who commented, so that's a good thing. I'll give you a little peek in here. What's going on? I'm getting a lot of high-tech components. I have upgraded all of my turrets to level 2, and one of them is level 3 now. I'm not going to do anything more with that until I have a bunch more circuits. I did not use these magazines, but I've heard if you have built your chopper and you're waiting on the chopper skill, that if you use those magazines, whichever one does I think it's the forest one, gives you that skill, you will automatically get it on that roll. I don't know that 100% sure, but I have been hearing that. So if you don't hold... Usually the best thing to do with these magazines, this is the first time I've ever got the magazines, is to wait on them, because if you're... Every level it gets harder and harder. So if you're at a high level and you use it, you'll get way more points, because these things supposedly give you like 50% of your skill level, regardless of how hard it is to get those points. So I'm going to hold on to them And I'll be holding on to this for when I'm trying to breed a level 4 dog, or, I don't know. That's the first time I've ever had one of those. And the puppies, let me just talk about the puppies too, because I don't even know where I put them. That one's armor. So those are 4 boy puppies. You can tell from the collar when you pick them up, in case you don't know. And here's another 6. So I have 10 puppies that are all boys in boxes that I can't do anything with. And then, on top of that, I have nothing but boys here, and I just got this one girl from that event. It's the only girl I got. So every single one of these is boys, plus 10 more. So, when I suspect something's going on, that's because of that. I get a lot of boys. And I know a lot of other people do too. Also, make sure your dogs are fed before you go and do abomination searches, because you're more likely to find, you get all your perks that you wouldn't otherwise get. So I happened to wake up this morning. I walked to a zone, and that's why I don't have it. So yeah, something seems fishy with the breeding, but some people seem to get a nice even mix, and some people get all boys or all girls, and their gender does not seem to matter. But I didn't know if switching your gender made a difference, because one time it seemed like it was. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to a girl and just continue to test that out, but I don't know. It just seems weird. The good thing about the witch's head is you get a good long time that the coal lasts. It's like about 2 days for a stack of coal. And what else? I still have not checked out all the new things you can put in the recycler. I just put in like 7 phones last night. Unfortunately, I didn't get a circuit, but I'm kind of running out of stacks of electronics. I'm trying to build those up while I'm putting these in. These give you a chance for steel, but I've yet to get one. I've put probably 10 of these in here, and I can't ever seem to get any. Let me make a little room. So right now at level 26, I'm getting 10% chance, but I keep not getting them. I've heard that the steel is hard to get compared to the copper. Like, you put in batteries, and it's a low percentage chance, but you just get a copper every single time, pretty much. But that's not the case with the steel bars, which is a bummer, because it's such a pain to turn copper into steel. I mean, it's still much better than it used to be. This is what I'm at, because somebody requested this. So I'm max electronics, and my next goal is the mechanics, but it just takes a long time, because unless you can come here every hour and put something in, it just takes forever. This thing sits here doing nothing all the time, and I don't have stacks of anything to put in for mechanics except wrenches, and I want to save those for when I'm maxed out. So it kind of womps. And then somebody else asked me about this. If you go into best up here on the top, there's the savings pack, and I'm trying to click view. Oh, okay. Well, I got a bunch more now. So I now have 32,000. Wow, this seems like I got a huge increase from somewhere, because yesterday when I checked, I thought I only had about 4,000. So I don't know what happened right there, but yesterday when I checked, I only had the first 5 items, and now I have the pack for unlocking, suppression pack, specialist pack, and pack for stack making. I don't know if this has something to do with the event going on, but this was supposed to be the experience points that you've gotten from doing the skill building. So this thing, originally he was asking me, is it worth it $5 for the items from the mechanics pack down, and I didn't think so, but now it's looking much more appealing. I try not to be pay to win it all. And I think that's it. I'm hoping somebody does a video showing all the new things that you can put in here. I don't think it's anything good, like putting bolts and stuff. It's nothing new that's special, but I don't want to take the time trying to put everything in and experiment myself. So hopefully, if you know if there's anything special you can put in there now, please leave a comment, let me know. And otherwise, that's it. So hopefully you'll be seeing a revenge raid pretty soon from me. All right, bye-bye.